Caught my wife cheating with a coworker. Now as I'm divorcing her and exposing her to everyone, she's begging me to stay. How did you feel after the divorce was legal? As per the title, really, my divorce is due to be legal mid-July. I am hoping I'm going to feel liberated and free and that this chapter is finally closed. I separated back in September and haven't spoken to my ex-wife since early November, and have no connections, so unlikely to speak to her again. I feel I'm in a good place, but I'm just waiting for the divorce to be final. Then I can finally put this all to bed and start the next chapter. Update: the song that helped me. 9 months out now and I don't look back. I still have the occasional bad period, but rather than last a day or more, it's not normally more than an hour or so. I'm doing amazing, dating a wonderful girl, talking it slow but still, and I have never been happier with myself and who I am, but I just wanted to share a song that got me through the tough times. And yes, I cried many times. Dean Lewis, Be Alright. If you are doubting if you made a mistake leaving them or if you are not sure if you should, listen to it. Funny enough, I just did for the first time in months and it really made me realize how far I come. I now listen to the song thinking he was right rather than it feels like I'll never be okay. But nothing heals the past like time, and they can't steal the love you're born to find. Update: so, today the final order has been accepted by my now ex-wife and I am legally divorced. The chapter is firmly closed and I now have no ties to her whatsoever. A bit of a backstory: I noticed a change of behavior around Feb 2023. Hiding phone, being distant, dressing up more for work, etc. I confronted her and she got defensive. Typical red flag, but I ignored. I accepted her story of her change of medication being the reason for the behavior change. I still had doubts, but we continued until August, where she decided she needed space out of the blue. This was due to my accusation of her cheating on me. I accepted. She was barely home. We still talked, but eventually she said we need to talk. Long story short, she no longer loved me. She wasn't cheating and never did, but she had just fallen out of love with me. She left and said she'll be in touch to get her stuff, etc. I was shocked and devastated. It was so out of the blue. We were happy, or so I thought. That night, I had an overwhelming urge to check her phone. She had a new phone in July, but her old one was left here. It was odd. I'm not religious, but it was like a mysterious force was shouting at me, check her phone. I couldn't sleep and this voice got louder and louder. Eventually I relented. I saw it all, images and videos which got more and more graphic with time. Being sent to a work colleague I long suspected I couldn't trust, and images and vids he had sent her, including shoving a beer bottle up his arse. She deleted the WhatsApp conversations, but the images, etc. remained in the WhatsApp folder. I was relieved that I was right all along. She was cheating. I was being gaslit. There was nothing wrong with me. Then came the anger. I sent messages to all her friends, my friends and work colleagues, whose details I had, and her dad, telling them the real reason we had separated, that she was a cheating tramp. I confronted her. I called her and texted her that I knew everything. I knew she was cheating since at least February. She was blunt, I suspect shocked that I knew. But her main concern was that I told everyone. Her image of a sweet, caring woman was shattered in a million pieces. She was emotionless on the phone but wanted to come over the next day to explain everything. She kept saying sorry. The next day she came over, the usual floods of tears, crying out that she was sorry. I believed her and agreed to work on things. She agreed but said she needed time to think if it was she really wanted. I said the same. A few months passed with her still needing space to decide what she wanted. She had to move jobs as the atmosphere in the office was toxic, so she said. She was unsure if she wanted to work things out, but when I threatened divorce she begged me to reconsider, saying don't chuck away 8 years. In hindsight, I should have told her to shove it and filed for divorce then. Eventually in November, I came to my senses and we spoke. I told her that I wanted to file for divorce. She agreed. I filed in December. The first few months, September to December, were the hardest, made harder by the fact we were considering reconciliation. I am certain that had I put myself first in September and filed there, and then I would have healed a lot faster, as the constant torment of not knowing if she wanted to work on us or not was destroying me. I didn't eat barely for 2 weeks. I cried myself to sleep. I even contemplated unaliving myself a few times. What I went through the first few months was absolute hell and by far the worst experience I have ever gone through in 34 years. I got therapy for about 3 months to deal with the initial shock and the absolute mess my head was in. It helped and was worth every penny. It helped me let go and realize that she did not define my life. What she did not define me, but actually defined her. I learned to love myself, to be enough exactly how I am, and to accept that I deserve better. I learned to let go of her and understand that I was in love with a ghost. The real her was revealed in September, and in the last 8 years, I was sold a lie. I looked at where I went wrong and realized that I ignored red flags for the sake of not being alone, and that I was terrified of being alone. This was an awakening. Why was I so afraid of being alone? I worked on self-esteem, I did things for me, I put myself first, I leaned on the support of friends, and a few months ago, I started dating. I realized that there were other people out there, people who my ex-wife couldn't hold a candle for. I felt good. For the first time in my life, I was truly happy with who I am. I am happy single. I don't need a relationship anymore. I'm doing things I want to do with no commitments. It took about 6 months to reach this place. I'm now dating and I have met this amazing girl. We're taking things slow, but she is everything my ex-wife isn't. She is caring, kind, self-assured, and confident. It's early days yet, but I'm hopeful. And even better, I know that if things don't work out, I'd be okay. I hope this post helps some people who are in hell currently. It gets better, I promise, and I know that the first few months, etc. are absolute hell. My advice, no matter how hard it is, please leave if you can, never ever reconcile. You deserve better, and if better is just you single, then that's still better than being with a manipulative liar. It is hard. You will go through absolute hell, and when you think you're doing better, you'll get a setback. Keep going. It's a long, lonely, and painful journey, but it will end. You are not alone. Use the support of your friends, family, and here. Go no contact as soon as you can. If you can't, i.e., kids, etc., limit contact to as little as possible. They don't deserve your attention. Don't give it to them. You are better than them. I don't care if they are with their new partner or they appear happy. They were trash, and their AP was the trash collector. Don't try to get trash back. Give therapy. And finally, forgive them, not for their sake but for yours. Realize they are a flawed person. What they did was them, not you. They didn't do it to hurt you, they did it because they suck. When you forgive, you let go, they move out of your head and you no longer care. It takes time, but look to forgive when you're ready. Feel the feels. It's okay to not be okay. There may be days where you don't want to get out of bed. That's okay. Don't feel bad about it. You're allowed to feel this way. Take it day by day. Set yourself small tasks, i.e., today I will shower, tomorrow I will go for a quick walk. I will try and eat something. Celebrate these little wins. Don't be hard on yourself. Read Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life, and No More Mr. Nice Guy. The latter is aimed at a male audience but applies to women too. You've got this. I know you have got this. You, deep down, know you have got this. We are not our cheating partners. We are better than them. They can never truthfully say I've never cheated. We can. Some relevant comments. Sorry you had to go through this. Good you exposed her. But be aware her wanting to try to fix the marriage after was born out of a lack of options and not out of a true desire to fix it. Her relationship with her parents now. And AP, any consequences for him? If their company has HR regulations about fraternization, you could, I would, inform HR of the affair and the resulting divorce. Honestly, I couldn't care less about the AP. Pathetic weasel of a man who needed to make himself feel that he is worth something by flirting with someone's wife. Actually feel sorry for him that he clearly has such low self-esteem that he needed to prove to himself. He is below me, not worth any space in my brain. She hates her mother, always has done. Her mother is a cheating, lying manipulator too. No idea about if she still speaks with her dad, but I have no reason to assume she doesn't. Very happy to read this story. OP, how did you manage to get over what she has done so quickly? It's not a singular event, it was months of lying, committing unspeakable acts, including shoving beer bottles up the bums of strange men. That one made me laugh. Yet 6 months after divorce you have already met someone. I was in a similar situation, sans the bottle and sass, and a year and a half after separation I still haven't healed, and it is virtually an impossibility for me to trust women in a romantic sense. I am interested in your thought processing with regards to your healing. My ex never admitted that she had an affair. I got this information from common acquaintance about her coworker. It made so much sense, I believed the acquaintance immediately. I also didn't blow up her life in the same way you perhaps did. Do you think getting it all out there affected your ability to process this? I'm not 100% healed. Most likely 95% I'm over what happened, but I have no idea how I will react in a new relationship. Hence why I'm taking this new potential relationship very slowly. I should point out that we are not in a committed relationship. But I need to find out if I am ready for love again and also make sure she is 100% the right person before I commit. She knows my history. I think the thing that helped me is cutting my ex off completely, almost like she died. She also has no social media presence and no mutual friends, so there is no way of me looking up to see what she is up to, even if I wanted to. She also moved away, so it is very likely I will never see her again. Also forgiveness. I forgave her fairly quickly as she had a very bad childhood and had a lot of mental health problems. She doesn't know I have forgiven her as it was for me, not her. I think when you forgive, moving on becomes a lot easier. You no longer care what they are up to or that you want revenge. You simply stop caring. Story 2. I've been with my girlfriend Laura for a year. She is awesome and we love each other. I've been friends with Jake and Shelly for 2 years. We weren't that close seeing as I met them through my group of friends. But now we're very close. They adore my girlfriend and pretty much hang out with her more than me. One time they even told me if we were to break up they would pick her side over mine, even though I've known them longer. Anyway, I'll get to the point. So Laura just graduated college and wanted to celebrate. Let me start by saying she never drinks. In the year I have known her, I think she's only drank like once or twice, and honestly, that's because my group of friends kind of pressured her into it. She doesn't handle alcohol well since she is really small and has no tolerance. This will be important later. So Jake and Shelly invite her over to their place while I am at work, so I can't come. The plan was for them to pick her up and take them to their place, and for me to pick her up after work so she doesn't drink and have to spend the night. All is well. I trust them and I know they are experienced drinkers and would watch her. I get off at 2 a.m. from work and head over to their place. At this point, I know Laura is drunk because of the sloppy texts I am getting from her, so I knew that I would have to take care of her. But then, I get to their house and I walk in on something terrible. Laura is passed out on the ground, Shelly is on top of her making out with her, and Jake is recording it all with his phone. I freak out and ask him what the F is going on. I snatch his phone from him and delete the videos and pictures. He laughs and says it was all a joke, that they took the pictures to make fun of Laura in the morning, play a joke on her. I pick her up off the ground and we leave. Guys, she was so drunk she could barely walk. She was puking constantly, she was crying and couldn't see straight, and my friends were completely sober. What the F? I put her to bed and then receive a text from Shelly, saying that I shouldn't be mad since it was all a joke. I reply that they took advantage of her, and she agreed, but claimed they took advantage of her in a friendly way so that she would let loose and have fun since she is always studying. I was so disgusted that I didn't reply and cared for Laura all night since she wouldn't stop vomiting. The next day, Laura receives a bunch of text messages from them angrily berating her for getting them in trouble. They say she is a grown sass woman who can handle her own mistakes, that they don't give a F what I think about what they did, that I am a little tramp, and that it's basically all her fault and she pressured them into making the video. If you all saw how incoherent and blacked out my girlfriend was, you'd see that she couldn't even stand up, let alone pressure someone to do anything. She has been crying over it all day, and switches between yes it was all her fault, to know they were being disgusting idiots. As for me, they keep berating me and insulting me for being angry, saying I am overreacting to a simple joke that they were going to play on her. I don't know what to do, please give me some advice. Am I wrong? Because I don't effing think I am. But Jake and Shelly are going around spreading rumors about this, making me out to be a jealous, controlling idiot, and my girlfriend to be a dumb drunk who pressured them into acting badly. TLDR, walked in on my girlfriend passed out drunk on the floor and my best friends on recording a sensual video with her. Relevant comments. How is everything OP? I'm worried about you and Laura. Can we have an update please? I just want to know you guys are okay. This was very familiar and heart-wrenching. I thought we had to wait 48 hours to update. Otherwise I'd make another post, although not much has happened. They are still harassing us and making her feel guilty, and we are no longer friends. She is okay for now. She was hungover all day, but she's better. She doesn't know yet if she wants to go to the police. They have done a good job of messing with her head and making her feel like she is the one to blame. So are you? Did Toy go to the police? You asked Reddit and about 99% of us said go to the cops. To be honest, I don't know why you didn't do this right off the bat. These people are loonies. Right now I'm caring for Laura and leaving it all up to her. She is so torn up about this because before this, they were amazing friends to her and she loved them. She's been crying a lot. Does your girlfriend remember how much she had to drink before she started to black out? She sounds like she was really sick afterwards, and if she doesn't remember supposedly doing all these shots, I'd worry about how they got her into this bad of a state. She does not, but she remembers that they didn't drink and that is fishy to me. Update. So for several days after the incident, they constantly contacted my girlfriend blaming her and telling her it was her fault. She did admit to them that she was blackout drunk and couldn't remember anything, and they pounced on that information by telling her false stories of what actually happened and telling her that I was lying and a controlling idiot who just wanted to isolate her from her true friends. Since they've known me for a long time, they then proceeded to tell her horrible stories about my past. That I did substances when I was 18 for God's sake, that I was once arrested for drunk driving. That was a mistake I owned up to as soon as her and I met, and she was aware of it since the beginning. and that I've slept with multiple women, and that Laura is just another number to me. Guys, I'll admit that I used to be a party animal and I have a bad past, but I am a changed person now and I love my girlfriend with all of my heart. It hurt that they were using my past against me in order to get her to come to their side. So I told her that she should go to the police and file a report, and she agreed. She warned them to quit harassing her and they flipped the F out. They showed up at our house late at night to try to talk to her. They left treats and presents for her at our door. They even got her parents involved. Now her parents are not idiots, and as soon as I told her what they did to Laura, her parents banned them from the house and threatened to call the police if they ever showed up again. It was a crazy ordeal, considering they left handwritten notes for her parents to read signed "Love, your favorite son and daughter." WTF. Laura spent many nights crying into my arms, racked with guilt and confusion. Finally, we went to the police after weeks of this harassment and filed a report. She did not want to press charges. I'm working on building her self-esteem back up so she has the strength to do it if she ever wants to. The police officers said that she has enough evidence to press charges against them since she has the texts where they admitted to taking advantage of her. And they also said that if she presses charges, they can confiscate their phones and search for their video. I'm still not sure how that would work, but I'm not questioning it. Laura just wanted to file a report just in case anything happens in the future. There is a paper trail. She's contemplating putting a restraining order on them, but they've stopped and have gone silent. We no longer have contact with them or any other friends that believe their lies. Laura is in therapy and is slowly starting to understand that she was sensually assaulted, and sometimes I go with her to support her. The hardest part for her is not feeling like it's her fault. She brings up the fact that she was drunk, and if she had not gotten that drunk, it all could have been avoided. I always tell her that it is not her fault. We will see if she decided to press charges. I can't force her to do anything she doesn't want to do, but I support her in anything she chooses. So there it is. I'm not sure what to make of the craziness that happened after that night. I don't get why they went psycho, leaving her notes and gifts and trying to talk to her parents. Maybe one of you guys could explain it. TLDR, they went crazy for a couple weeks after the incident, then they stopped. My girlfriend filed a police report but so far does not have the strength to press charges at the time. She's in therapy and I go with her to support her. Story 3. Obligatory sorry for mobile formatting. I, 36 male, met my wife Bailey, 33 female, 9 years ago through mutual coworkers, and we hit it off immediately. I fell absolutely head over heels with this woman. She was everything I was looking for. I had gotten out of a toxic, dare I say abusive, long-term relationship right before that with a woman Bailey had been acquainted with, but not friends with. I had her blocked on everything and had no contact with her since breaking up. We got married right after the tail end of the pandemic, bought our first house together, and started trying to conceive. That was difficult because Bailey has PCOS, but last year she finally gave birth to our first daughter. I'm having a blast being a dad. It's kind of a dream come true. I finally got my happy life with my perfect wife. Until last Monday. My laptop's battery crapped the bed, so I opened up Bailey's work tablet with an attached keyboard. You can set it up like a monitor to check on some tax stuff. She wasn't home. It was just me and the baby. But we've never asked permission to use each other's devices. We've always been open like that. There's nothing for us to hide. That's what I thought. When I opened up the internet, I noticed she had the incognito tab open. Never in a million years did I expect to discover what I did. My wife has a secret Google account with a photo album saved called XX. So I clicked on it. Did I discover an affair? Bears. Nope. In this Google album were over 300 photos, 348 actually, of my ex. The woman I was with right before I met Bailey. The woman who tormented me and made me feel worthless. The album said it was started back right around the time Bailey and I started dating, and was updated as recently as 2 weeks ago. The photos range from candid shots with family to pictures at her work functions. There were even pictures from her yearbook. I don't know how Bailey could have found her high school yearbook photos. Photos from vacations, ID photos from work, pictures of her in crowds, screenshots of videos, and screen recordings of videos. Just her. The other people in the photos would be scribbled out, or the photo would be cropped and zoomed in just on my ex. There was other disturbing things I found too. There was another album with just zoomed up pictures of my ex's hair. Come to think of it, Bailey had recently started wearing her hair different and my ex had a very identifiable hair type. There was another album with screenshots of comments on social media. Of course I can't find them because I have her blocked. Like Facebook groups she's in and public posts. And my ex is very low-key on social media. I can't imagine the lengths Bailey went to find them. My ex literally lives in another country now. There were also different links to the exact outfits she was wearing, like very specific blouses and trousers you'd have to really go looking for to find. A specific water bottle I remembered her purchasing, and identical hiking boots and sandals. So basically, my partner of almost a decade has been single white femaling my ex-girlfriend, has secretly stalked her to the point of buying her exact clothes and changing her hair, and now I'm starting to realize Bailey's new interests over the years were just my ex's. Bailey has turned herself into my ex. Everything feels like a lie. Our love feels like a lie. The things we share feel like a lie. I threw up and had a panic attack. I looked at our daughter and felt betrayed. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know if I want to. I want to run away with our daughter. I want to print out all her pictures, leave them on the table, and disappear. I don't know what to do. I just want to throw up. Some relevant comments. Holy cow, that definitely is alarming. The best thing to do is address it now to see what'll change if she no longer has someone to replicate. The toxic side of me would slowly start mentioning things like, you know, you really do remind me of someone, and nonchalantly bite into an apple and walk away. I feel like what's worse is that she's subtly made these changes over time under my nose. So, my ex has a specific career and Bailey didn't express interest in switching careers to the exact same thing until after I had mentioned what my ex did. Didn't notice at the time, but I remember telling her ex went to school for that. The hair was more recent, the outfits and objects slowly over time. The interests, I'm not sure how much she's stolen personality-wise from my ex and what she actually likes. It's all incredibly exhausting and confusing. She is trying to please you, even if in a very unhealthy way. You could tell her you don't like this or that she does, to her appearance, behavior, whatever, because it reminds you of your disgusting ex. Keep doing it subtly and she'll probably realize she's doing the wrong thing. I did say to her yesterday, she had one of the very specific styles of exercise shirts on after the gym, that her top looked incredibly familiar, and I didn't know where I had seen it before. Then she played dumb. Not sure what to tell you, but please don't say anything drastic. Did you talk a lot about your ex? You were together with her, so there must have been things about her you liked. Does your wife have issues with insecurity? While this is understandably disturbing and somewhat creepy, it could have been much worse. Imagine if there was a whole collage of pictures of some other dude. Maybe your wife is afraid of losing you, even though this doesn't seem like the case. I would talk to her about this and find out why she is doing it. Doesn't have to be a confrontation. I wish you the best. While I talked about my ex, most of the things I told my wife about were negative and paint her in not such a good light. My wife knows these things and know they were traumatic. Of course, I've mentioned things like what she does for a living and things she used to do. I think everything else she found she got through intense cyberstalking through my ex's friends and family. The yearbook photos, I have no idea. Edit, removed specific info so I don't accidentally dox myself. Update, I'm pretty sure I accidentally got my original post removed just now because I tried to update it with a link to my update. Oops. Anyway, I'm the guy who found the Google Drive full of pictures of my ex. So, I was not expecting my original post to go viral on YouTube and TikTok and have so many responses. Yikes. I am overwhelmed by the support. I am humbled by the number of people who have been through this experience on both sides. I have an update, but it's probably not as exciting and as juicy as you want. It's not bad, though. First, let me clear things up. If people think this post is fake because it doesn't make sense, or are trying to conceive timeline is short, or the way I worded things makes it look like a teenager or woman wrote it, continue to think that because it means I've successfully been vague enough and worded things to not accidentally dox myself. Believe this is a creative writing exercise so I don't embarrass myself. For real. No, I didn't actually throw up. I was in the middle of a panic attack. Private browsing tabs were open to the websites with clothing and objects. Another tab was signed into Google Photos. When I exited the Google Photo tab to look at the websites with clothing and came back, it was already signed out and I couldn't get back in. A lot of the clothing I recognized wasn't because I remembered my ex wearing them. There were more recent pictures of her in the file wearing them, and I remember the day Bailey bought the water bottle that also happened to be in the folder. The hair. Bailey and my ex are the same race, and my ex wore braids in a particular way. Not so particular that it's exclusive to my ex, because Bailey has also worn different braids. But seeing pictures of her made me put two and two together. Is there any way Bailey could have gotten with me in an attempt to get to my ex? Was Bailey possibly obsessed with my ex before she met me? Probably not, because Bailey grew up here and my ex originally moved here for university. And while you can drive across the border, it's not that easy, and I don't think Bailey was going back and forth to stalk her in person. Also, the reasons why my ex and I broke up have nothing to do with Bailey, and she could not have had any involvement. On to the actual update. The next day, when I had calmed down, I called several social workers and therapists. I was planning to confront her there. Unfortunately, the only places that take our insurance did not have an opening for another couple weeks. So, despite what a lot of you think, I've known my wife for nearly a decade, and even while I was confused and upset and doubting things, I didn't think she'd be a danger to me. We took baby to grandma's and I asked her to go for a walk with me. I did not beat around the bush and straight up told her I found the folder. Her face got very red and she was frozen, but also tried to play dumb at first. I was persistent, and she started crying and begged me not to leave her. This is what I uncovered. Bailey first started looking up my ex out of curiosity. To keep tabs, I guess. But over time it became more pathological. It's like she got addicted to it, but she also wanted to please me. Okay, maybe I talked about my ex a lot more than I thought, and Bailey wanted to emulate the good parts. She told me she really doesn't know who she is, and my ex's image was something she latched onto because she had me first. Finding information about her became a game. Finding the clothing and objects became a game. By searching things like blue water bottle green stripe until she compare the product to a photo and find the exact one. The reason why I couldn't find the posts wasn't because I had blocked my ex, but because my ex had made a new Facebook under a different name. Bailey found her profile by searching up a family member. She made fake social media and added enough mutual friends until she could see my ex's posts, and until her private Instagram accepted her. She weaseled her way into her exercise Facebook group, where the videos were posted, and searched her school on a yearbook website to find the yearbook pictures. Over time, she just collected the images and would get excited to find something new, despite the fact that my ex is extremely private on social media. The folder had originally been called Hex the Ex, in case I discovered it. She was going to make the excuse of saving the pictures to put a hex on her. When she made a burner Google account, she deleted the old folder and named the new one XX. Then she got sloppy and comfortable. And that's right around the time I just happened to open the work tablet. We took a break. It was a while. We made it to couples counseling, and Bailey and I also began seeing separate therapists. She still has not had an assessment with a psychiatrist, but it's on the list. She promised to stop and deleted the album in front of me. Slowly, certain clothing items began to disappear from the closet. I still do not entirely trust her, and that is for me to work on. I'm afraid she has another secret account somewhere, like a backup. The physical mimicking is actually stopping, though, including the hair change. We're still not okay. I want us to be okay, and it's okay if that takes time. If we end up not being okay, then that's something I have to deal with. What I do know is that my wife is incredibly insecure, probably mentally ill, and is misled. I don't really want to walk away from that. Although this probably isn't the most exciting update, I appreciate the private messages I just couldn't get back to, Reddit cares, and links to resources. I'm not sure how I feel about social media, YouTube and TikTok picking up on my story though. That's wild. Until next time, if I ever give another update, I hope it's a good one. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you really like our videos, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day.